Yo, what's up, with beatmakers? Today I'm gonna show you how I made this Rockstar Post Malone type beat. Check it out. So, let's start breaking down this beat, and I'm gonna start from the beginning. And basically how I came up with this beat is I first came up with this chord progression, and as you can see it's from Cymatics MIDI pack. I mean, I know how to write chord progressions, but sometimes I'm too lazy. So let's look at this. And then it goes like this. Yeah, actually it started out like this, and then it kind of turns into like a long pad thing, and I basically use this Analog Lab, which is pretty cool plugin. There's a lot of good presets, and let's see, I didn't use this, you can delete this. I used just auto filter in the beginning to kind of introduce the sound. I used this side widener to make it a little bit wider. And a virtual mix, let's see. I didn't use much of this, just subtle stuff. But it kind of sounds more controlled with this. Also, if you're a music producer, you can download all the stems from this project file. I'm gonna include them in the description. Just go to my website, and on BeatStars I'm actually selling a license to this beat for starting, I think, $29.95. So you can license this beat and you can download the stems for like $10. So let's go to the next thing. Let's see more. I actually have a piano in the beginning here, which kind of is really cool. And more in the beat, it kind of starts playing this like little melody, dun 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 dun. And it's also just Analog Lab and like no processing. Check out this plugin, it's like really cool because there are like a ton of presets. And let's see what this is. And I made this melody just to emphasize the melody we have in the MIDI here, because without it, it kind of sounded there's no melody kind of in the song, so I added this. So let's listen without it. And there's it. Yeah, it kind of has that little melody in the beat to kind of keep you going, and it's a really cool idea. If you have a melody but it's not like strong enough, you can add another layer of just the melody with a cool little sound. Let's see what I have on this thing. I have F6, which is a dynamic equalizer, and it's really cool because it changes with the sound, and I can like make exactly what I want. And here I again have some saturation. As you can see, this thing adds a lot. FG73, which is really cool, like distortion or saturation. Now let's go to the 808, which is really simple, but it's really the heart of your beat. I use this Want a Girl 808 from Splice, which is like really clean. It sounds really clean at the beginning. So I mean, it sounds really cool. Let's see how it sounds clean. I mean, it still sounds really cool, but it didn't cut through the mix for me because I wanted the 808 to be there even on small speakers. So first of all, I added this. It's a really cool plugin, Black Box, which kind of adds a little bit of distortion. And again, this FG again adds a lot of saturation and distortion. This Earth equalizer adds some low end for me, and I also kind of compressed it a little bit. And at the end, I compressed it with this compressor too. And again, you don't have to have all those plugins. You can just download the stems for $10 from my website. You can just use them in your projects, and they are all like rendered and ready to go with professional plugins. So, and even if you don't have those plugins, you can still use like in Ableton we have like let's see, maybe a saturator. Let's get rid of this. And see, still adds saturation. And even this sounds like really cool. Like I would have used that instead of that saturation. But it doesn't matter what tools you use, as long as you have you should use the most of what you have to make the most of what you want to make. So let's go to the next. We're gonna go to the drums at the end. Let's check out some effects. Actually, this is a crash, so it's still drums. I really like cymatics crashes. I don't know, they kind of sound not too heavy and not too subtle. And I also have a reverse crash here, which leads in the beat really well. So this is my tag, if you are interested. Just party. As I said, this beat is on BeatStars. So anyways, check it out. So let's check out the drums, which is really the heart, or it's the, I don't know, the legs of your beat, because the beat really stands on the drums. And hip hop is all about the drums, I think. That's my drums. Let's check them out. So on this snare I worked like a lot. I basically what I did, it's a really cool trick too. I have a reference plugin here, and if we press reference, I'm not gonna play the song because I'm gonna get copyright strike. I'm gonna probably delete, but I have Rockstar loaded here, and basically it references everything you want to know about the song, like the high end, the low end, the stereo, and I can compare all the sounds to my beat. And basically I took the snare and I tried to make it really close to the actual Rockstar beat. So without all the processing, it sounds like this. So it's again from Splice. Wonder Girl is really cool. Sample pack, check it out. And I made it my own by, first of all, I lowered it. As you can see, it's lower with this plugin, because the Rockstar beat sounded lower to me. I added some distortion, and it's barely, you can barely hear it in here, but in the mix I think it makes a lot of difference because it kind of sticks out. And the most important, I feel like, is this EQ. Without it and with the EQ, I don't know, it's really subtle, but in the mix it made like really huge difference. And I kind of got rid of all the bad frequencies and emphasized the main frequency over here. And again, you don't have to like have those plugins, you can just use what you have. Yeah, let's move on to the hats. Wait, I didn't go with the kick. The kick's really cool too. Barely any processing, just an L2 compressor. Let's see without it. kinda more character with the compressor. And at all my drums I have this true iron, which again adds like almost nothing, but like in the mix it adds, I feel like, a lot, and makes the drums kind of come through the mix. So let's see the hats, what I have here. So again, I tried to reference the Rockstar beat for my hats. I tried to make them like, you can hear they're like in stereo, like little tingles. So I have a few hats here. Let's check them out. Those ones are the ones that go to the side, and how I made it in Ableton really cool. If you basically, let's see, I have automation on the pan here. As you can see, it like goes left, right. Basically, I pressed B, and we have this draw tool, and I basically like drew it like in like this, and I drew in like this. If you go farther, the draw tool will kind of be bigger, and if you go closer, it will have smaller increments, and you can yeah, do whatever you want. So I felt like this pattern was pretty cool. So yeah, and on the whole hats group, I have this plugin again. Let's see without it. So it kind of compressed them all together and like glued them all together, so they have kind of the same or a similar velocity, or how loud you hear them. And without it, it's like they're all different velocities. You can hear that. Yeah, one sounds too quiet, the other one sounds too loud. And with this API, it also adds a little bit of attack in the beginning, so like bite, the bite of the snare. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much the whole beat. I don't know what else I have here. So again, if you want to license this beat, you can go to my BeatStars in the description of this video and get a license for it and like rap if you're a rapper or a singer. And if you're a producer, go to my website, grab all the stems from this beat. They're all professionally processed. Let's just check out my master chain and see what's on here. So first of all, I have an L3 limiter just to catch anything weird. I have reference, which doesn't do anything. It just, as I said, I can reference any track I want. Oops. Then I have this isotope inside, and I think I just put it on here just to mess around. Doesn't do anything. Then I have ozone 7. So yeah, I think I just increased the highs, a little limiter. I think I used the preset for that. It's like clean, crisp highs. I used a little bit of that, which I think this makes a lot of difference. And again, I used the preset for that. So yeah, check out my other videos on like mastering, where I'm gonna show you how I do it. And this I have on my other screen, which is not connected right now. It's not on, but basically I can see all the information. Again, it's a really cool plugin. It shows me a lot of information, like about my low end, my stereo, right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Yeah, it would be really cool if you actually got for only $10 the stems, because it really supports me, and I use that money to buy like more splice samples. Because I hope you guys will really enjoy all the stems that I provided from this track. So yeah, and just leave your questions in the comments. If you have any suggestions, I will be really happy to make a video for you. Bye bye, take care.